Hi, it's Bonnie from Bonnie's Best. I've got a trashy junk journal to show you today. I'm in a list on Facebook called Trashy Junk Journals, and I also taught a class to a group of high school kids about how to make a journal with nothing but things around your house and trash. A lot of people have asked me where I get the images and things that I use in collages and handmade journals, and I thought that I would just share some of those techniques with you today. So I'm going to show you first a little pile of things I already cut out from a magazine, and then we'll go through a magazine and I'll show you how I find things. I cut this page out because of the numbers. Those would be really handy if you're doing a journal and you want to make a list. Those are nice big graphic numbers. You can often find those in ads. For example, this eyelash enhancer ad. Then I also find pages that have good backgrounds or good strips of color. And I always have a ruler handy, and I can just rip that strip and use that in a collage as a piece of background, as trim. I can cut it like a curtain or a banner. Lots of ways to use that. Then I also find backgrounds that don't have a whole lot in the foreground. Can put an image or words to cover that part up, and you still have all the butterflies and branches. Then I also find good words. I liked this, wow, just wow. Haven't cut it out yet, but rip the page out to get it later. Start here. That would be nice if you're doing a travel journal, I thought. Let's get this party started. I like that phrase, and I like that typeface. Yes, you can. Always nice to have some positive affirmations in your journals. So those are some things I just cut out last night from a magazine. And here's a magazine that you wouldn't think would have so much in it, but wait till you see. This is a Vogue that I picked up at a flea market. It was 50 cents, and there's all kinds of things you can use for collage in this magazine. So I'm just going to go to the pages I've already marked. I haven't even gone through the whole thing and look at all these pages I've marked. So here we have a nice border that we can just rip. That'll be useful somewhere. Another one, just blues. I'll show you how I use some of these in a few minutes. I won't cut them all out. Oh, another thing, have these things handy when you're going through a magazine. Have a post-it notes for things you want to go back to. There might even be an article you want to read that you can bookmark. These are great for bookmarks, and you can also bookmark pages and images and words that you want to cut out. Then there are times you want to just cut some little thing out, like words, so you have your scissors handy. And then that rip, using the ruler to rip, is really handy. And then if you want a whole page and you want to make sure you get it all the way to the edge, have your X-Acto knife handy so that you can just rip down the seam of the page, the spine. So those 4 supplies, if you have those handy when you're going through magazines, that's great. And if you're watching television and you don't want to interrupt your husband with the ripping, just bookmark everything. Just use these, bookmark everything, and go back to it later. Sometimes you even find more. All right, the next thing I found in here was this little puppet thing. I thought that would be really cute, cut out and put on the edge of a page as an element. This, I love the water and everything. That's just beautiful. And that's a fairly small item that you would have to cover up. And you could use that whole page as a background. In fact, I'll go ahead and slice that out. And then you could put a large element right here to cover up that cream. And then there you've got a beautiful page. Okay, next I found, whoops. Oh, I thought she was cool with the stripes across her face. You could do a lot with that. You could put words across the stripes. You could use just the eyes. You could use Lots of parts of that page. I would take that out with an X-Acto knife also. This was just a pretty gold edge. That could be real pretty somewhere. And then these are good letters right here. White on black, that's kind of nice. If you want to highlight a word, just use the first letter as, you know, with a big type and write the rest of the word. Or if you want to cut the letters up and make words, I do both, and that's really fun. This is more letters that are kind of useful. They're real bold. They've got space in between them so you can cut them out. That's important. Sometimes the letters touch and you can only use them where they don't touch, or you can only use combinations of where they touch. So it's nice when you find them laid out like that. Oh, here was just a cute little dog in a hat with a bow tie that I thought, stick him somewhere. Just cut that one piece out, and if I were doing this like in front of television or something, I'd go ahead and just either rip out that part or go ahead and cut out that dog. Okay, here is some great words. I thought this could be useful lots of places. Blah, 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 blah. So I put an arrow there just in case if I'm going fast, I think, now why did I cut that out? I don't want some woman with her blue jeans and so on. So I just put an arrow so I'd see those letters later. Now talk about a great page. This is really cool. You could write all down the sides, both sides. You could journal. You could put a really good picture in the middle or an image in the middle, but this is just a great background and just perfect for, I think I can tear that one out because it's heavy paper. So see, just stick that straight down in your journal, write down the side or cover it up, whatever, and put something in the middle, and you can put something on both of these parts too, but that's a really great background, I thought. Then, okay, here's a page that's got lots of stuff. The word journey is always handy. Field guide is kind of cool. You could use those black on orange letters right there. You could use the boxes. You could put something over that. There's lots of things you could do with that page. Just kind of try to think outside the box. Oh, this is a whole series of pages that have some real pretty artwork just down the sides. You know, you probably don't want the models, but you could tear out just those flowers and put them somewhere, or you could cut them out. See, here's more, here's more. That's a really great spread of little, wouldn't that be pretty down just the side of one of your pages? Nice, nice work there. This I love. I love having a wooden, like a wooden background. You can put letters on it or you can put words. That's really cool. I might even use that part. I'm not going to cut that out yet because I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to use it, but you could rip down right here. Just use that. Good background. Fabulous background. This is one of my very favorites because there's so little that you'd have to cover up. And it's such a neat rustic look. This facing page also has a strip that would be really good. So I like those kind of backgrounds. Here's some more letters, white on a dark red. That would be handy, and those are good letters. See, they're far apart. Cut between them easily. This I thought would make a fabulous sun. So you'd cut it like right there and put it on the edge of your page, have the sun be shining in or something. That would be fun. I haven't cut that out either because I thought, lots of things you could do with that. Lots of things you could do with this too. You could put a message in the middle. You could use her hand to hold something else. A lot of things with this spread that you could do. Cool car. Cool background for a text of some kind or journaling. You could cut her out of the way easily and just have that cool car as a spread. You'd want to use your X-Acto knife and use both parts and put this on one page and that on one page, use it just like this, or you could cut it up. But that's a neat illustration. This is a great background, has nothing on it you'd have to get rid of except the bottom. You could make all kinds of things on top of that that would look good, including journaling. That's not why I did that one. I thought this was fun. You've got your phone that you could put something on, or you could use her. This would be kind of neat on a beach trip book. I kind of like that she's got that She's holding that up with her feet. You could just use that. You could use the feet. All kinds of things you could do with that page. Oh, I just thought this was kind of cool. Her writing on the, whatever that is, large animal. That could be real fairy tale like somewhere. This was kind of cool with a shoe on her head. Love this page. Here's another page you could really do a lot with. There's only one thing you'd want to cover up maybe, and that's the Target logo. But the globe, this, I mean, you could just put a face here. There's all kinds of things you could do with that. I love that page. She would be cool cut out. Not much in the way either. Just that face right there. Cut along the lines, put her on a darker background so she pops. She's kind of cool. And you know, who doesn't love chocolate? This is a great page. I like everything about this page. I'd probably use this page almost as is. It's really cool. This is a neat one. The letters are cool. I would use the things that say talk back. I might use girls somewhere. I might cut this out and have them saying something else to each other. The lips and the whispering and the space in between, you could make the space in between larger. And journal, a lot you could do with that page. I thought that was a very cool page. I love pencils and pens, and I also love shoes, so there's lots you could do with that page. That's where I stopped. Oh, this was a spread that I already had ripped out that had nice background graphics. You know, anything that has like funky walls or road or wood or doors, those are all fun to use. Just cut up when you want them. That strip, or put something on top of that and use that side. Lots you can do with that. So I'm going to stop there. That gives you the idea about magazines. I'm going to show you a few things I did with a magazine. This is just one page. It's kind of shiny, so I'm not sure how it's going to photograph, but this is ribbon. This was in an ad. This flower was in another ad. This flower was in another ad. These were in another ad. So it's all just pieces. I just did kind of a patchwork thing. This one with the text here, script, is from scrapbook paper, and that's from a folder, and that's from note paper, those little lines. And that's from, let's see, oh, that's washi tape, I think. But most of this is from magazine, and Painting a Brighter Future was a great phrase. That was from a magazine. So this was just, I was trying to be optimistic. I was thinking about the future, and just came up with this one. But it's just a page, but it's mostly magazine stuff. I haven't finished this page, but I thought she was kind of cool with the striped hair and her little expression. So this is going to be a page, but it's not done yet. Then I've got a book to show you. This is from the class that I taught. The teacher asked me, the high school teacher asked me to come and do a class on collage and bookmaking. So I decided to focus on things that the students could bring from home or would have at home, not things they would have to buy. Now disregard the cover, because the cover is a patchwork of scrapbook paper. I had done that previously, and I just stuck it on this book after I made it. We're mostly going to focus on the inside of the book. So when I taught the class, I had the kids, for their homework, had to bring in a week's worth of junk mail. I provided glue sticks, magazines, maps, food labels, ephemera, and just some odds and ends to them, and showed them how to do it, or showed them what they could do, and then they went to town. It was really fun. We used file folders as the base of it and as the cover, and here's what I showed them how to do. So this page has a map background on the very back. Then it has a piece of stationery, which you can always get from thrift shops and estate sales, partially used stationery. That's really handy to have. And then here is the first of many food labels that are in here. I just thought that was a real pretty lemonade sticker on a lemonade bottle. This is a postcard I got. I put an old stamp on it that kind of blended. This is a Kleenex box you might recognize, having seen at dollar store. I love the leaves on it. I've used these boxes a lot. This is from a tea box. You can see another map. You can see, this is some ephemera I had. This is a page from a stamp directory. This is some Asian text. I pick up Asian books when I can at book sales. That's a strip from a workbook page from a school. That's a little strip from ledger paper. A little bit from a Reader's Digest book that I took apart, text from that. And one of my favorite pieces of ephemera is a book of landing instructions and flight patterns that I picked up at a thrift shop. Now obviously the kids aren't going to have that particular thing hanging around their house, but they're going to have Kleenex boxes, they're going to have food labels, stationery, and probably maps. So I used that as a tab that had numbers on it already, so I thought that was pretty cool. As you can see, I've used a few rubber stamps, not too many because I didn't think the kids would have those, so I tried to keep it to things the kids could find. Now here's where I just had a calendar page, like with a to-do list boxes. Here's the numbers for the dates. It's an old calendar from years ago. Use that as the base. Then I just started sticking food labels on it as they became available. So when I drank that tea, I put that tea package on there. When we had these alfalfa sprouts, I slapped those down, and I just kept collecting them on one page. And I thought it ended up kind of cool that, you know, it's kind of a conglomeration of labels, which actually might be fun to see years from now. Anyway, and it's colorful. So then I had more on this side. This is an old folder. This is inside of a business envelope, turned inside out. It says, please recycle. That makes a good pocket. All of these are food labels or product labels. Like that was when I bought Adele's album 25. Okay, then open along edge. That's from a Netflix envelope. Butterflies from a napkin. The pink flower there is from a playing card. This word spring is from an ad for a town near me, all of their shops and such. Obviously a dry cleaning label. This is from a napkin right here. This was paint spatter from a project I was doing, so it's trash really, but it was kind of funky. I was just spraying other things, and this was what I had underneath what I was doing. This is another pretty playing card. I find these all the time. They're so easy to find in thrift shops and Goodwill and so on. I've never paid more than $1, and usually I only pay a quarter or 50 cents for a whole pack. And they're really fun to have and use, especially as tabs. All right, this was an envelope, so it's craft, but it was real plain, so I used it as background. These two flowers were both cut from magazine ads. This was actually a strip of scrapbook paper, but it could have been a magazine. More food labels, a little bit of washi tape, a little bit of scrapbook paper. This was a piece of Joss paper I picked up when I was in San Francisco. A mail notification form, occasional postage stamps, sheet music you can see. Here's a place you could actually write. I had left a few pages that you could write in this journal, but not too many. You could write there, you could write there, a few other places. This was a sign with a schedule of my son's music productions that he's a music promoter, and this was one of his schedules that I just thought was a pretty color. The parrot was from a magazine ad. That's some tape I found at a flea market. I just love it. We can do it. This is a beer I like. I thought it was kind of a nice tab. An internet ad, some washi tape, note paper. Here's some of those numbers I cut out from an ad for, I think, AT&T or something. Another flower from a playing card. Old tickets. Signature sticker. This page is a little messy, but these blue strips all the way around, this one, that one, this, those were all from a magazine, probably a Vogue type magazine. I just sort of collected blue things on this page. I had an Asian ad, an envelope with a pretty inside, it's a sticker, another playing card. The school teacher that sponsored the class gave me this transparency, and I had a workbook page that I put the transparency